Trump, you got to like be on the page that he's worse than Joe Biden and very different than Joe Biden. Come on, Doc.
Look, it's not politics that determine the outcome of society. It's culture. I don't care about politics.
All right, guys. So, have I told you that I am a fan of Dr. Phil, right? Or put it this way, I'm a fan of Dr. Phil's new show and the way he does his show, where he actually has conversation and debate about cultural topics, where he brings both sides of the aisle to the table, okay? And they have a fair debate and conversation about certain issues. Again, I'm a big fan of his show, the new format of his show. And I just got the feeling that, Dr. Phil is not one of these super woke leftists that you see in the mainstream liberal media. He's a guy that probably is pretty reasonable when you sit down and talk to him. Again, doesn't mean that he's necessarily conservative or even really moderate. Maybe he is moderate, but it's one of those things where I just feel like he's probably a classical liberal, okay, for the most part, but I don't know. However, what I do know is that during this conversation with Bill Maher, he refused to engage in Trump derangement syndrome, right? He's not one of these guys that's out here acting like Trump is some sort of unique evil that we've never seen before and that nothing else matters in this country. No matter how bad it gets, okay, under the Democrats, no matter how extreme they get, it doesn't matter in comparison to the evil that is President Donald J. Trump, which is kind of how Bill Maher feels, okay? He's somebody that we've talked about time and time again on this show. The guy is a classical liberal, but he absolutely can't stand Trump, which is why it seems to me that he keeps voting Democrat despite how extreme the Democrat Party has gotten, okay? They've left classical liberals like Bill Maher behind, okay? They consider people like Bill Maher and the Joe Rogans of the world to be conservatives, right? They are conservatives now, okay? According to the far left Democrats. But again, this conversation right here is going to be fascinating because Dr. Phil is going to refuse to take debate from Bill Maher and go on this boohoo, whine, and cry fest about how much he hates Trump, right? So without further ado, I want to play it because this is a truly fascinating conversation.
Trump, you got to like be on the page that he's worse than Joe Biden and very different than Joe Biden. Come on, Doc.
Look, it's not politics that determine the outcome of society. It's culture.
Fact. Fact. Again, I'm gonna try not to pause too much, but I just want to state, culture, okay, is what really affects the outcome of this country and where we go, okay? Politics is downstream of culture. This is why the culture war is so important. This is why I spend so much time on my channel talking about culture. My channel is basically half politics, half culture for a reason, okay? Culture is important.
Care about politics. You go back to the beginning, and Democrat and Republicans have been in control about 50-50. They've had control of the House and Senate while they were in control of the presidency about 50-50. They've had it not in control 50-50. And look where we are. They both come up about the same place. I don't care about that. I care about our culture.
Okay, I'm disappointed that I can't get you to just out and out say that Trump is a completely different animal than the politics on the left and the right that we both agree is very lacking on both sides.
It begs the question.
He is a completely different element and much more dangerous. I mean, we're talking about some sort of unnatural predator that was introduced into this wild, which was it was a jungle in the first place. But this is a different element. Nobody else has ever tried to not concede an election in this country.
Wow. Wow. There's so much I can say. First and foremost, what evidence does Bill Maher have that Trump is some sort of unique evil? Okay, let's talk about the Trump Me Too allegation, since he brought up the word predator, right? Joe Biden currently has Me Too allegations from Tariq. Now, the mainstream liberal media, they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to get into it. But the dude has been accused of Me Too. In fact, I remember Kamala Harris, his current vice president, when they were running against each other in the Democrat primary, coming out and saying that she believes Biden's accusers. Take a look.
I believe them, and I respect them being able to tell their story and having the courage to do it.
Do you believe that the vice president should enter this race?
He's going to have to make that decision for himself. I wouldn't tell him what to do.
And when you talk about Trump allegedly being some sort of racist, right? He's racist. That's what makes him so uniquely evil. He's racist. Well, what about when Kamala Harris, again, Joe Biden's vice president, accused Joe Biden of being a flaming racist for opposing busing?
Believe, and it's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, you know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me. So I will tell you that on this subject, it cannot be an intellectual debate among Democrats. We have to take it seriously. We have to act swiftly. As Attorney General of California, I was very proud to put in place a requirement that all my special agents would wear body cameras and keep those cameras on.
Senator Harris, thank you. Vice President Biden, you have been invoked. We are going to give you a chance to respond. Vice President Biden.
Guys, that's so funny to me. It's so hilarious, okay, to watch Kamala Harris on the verge of tears. On the verge of tears. Yo, you're so racist. And it affected me so personally. Now, she's on her knees, right, deep-throating everything that the Biden administration is putting out because she's vice president, okay? Again, it tells you guys just how sad and pathetic these politicians are, okay? They will sell out for money and power quickly, okay? They're prostitutes, right? Again, Kamala Harris is used to being on her knees. So, hey, it is what it is. This is par for the course of her, but it shows you guys how fake these politicians are. Anyways, when it comes to the topic of elections and trying to overturn elections, Democrats spent 5 years trying to overturn the 2016 election. Okay, guys, I mean, after the 2016 election, they was making all types of claims about voting machines in Florida, right? Again, they were saying all the same stuff that, you know, they complained about after the 2020 election. They were making all these false claims. They sat in Congress, okay, and objected to the election of Donald J. Trump. Right? But now they want to lecture everybody else on Republicans objecting to Joe Biden being elected president. Again, Bill Maher, he's just so caught up in his own bubble. I don't think that he actually really knows what he's talking about. Right? I don't think he actually pays that close of attention to what's going on here. I think that he just has his writers write his script and he just, you know, goes off that, right? I'm not sure exactly if he's paying attention here. But anyways.
Try to overturn an election we all, even the people in his own party, understood was lost. That is a Rubicon that we have crossed that makes him completely unique. A unicorn, if a unicorn was a big fat asshole. If I can't have your faith on that, it's very hard for me to understand where you're coming from on any issue.
Basically, what Bill Maher is saying is that if you don't think Trump is the most evil thing ever, I don't think that I can really understand anything you're saying or where you're coming from on any issue because you don't agree with me that Trump is a unique evil. Again, this level of Trump derangement syndrome is sad, bro. Bill Maher needs to light up a blunt and chill out, dog. He needs to light up a blunt and chill out, okay? Go find himself a black woman, okay, and, you know, get his rocks off or something. I'm just saying, he got to chill, bro. This Trump derangement syndrome is out of control.
I'm telling you.
Sorry, you can't do it.
No, I'm telling you this. That's a cop-out. What difference does it make? A, he's not in power now. B,
Facts.
he's probably not going to be. And C, it doesn't. Let me ask you this. No, wait a minute. Hang on. You've read 1984 how many times?
Once.
You have a good memory.
I mean, it was like college time, but I loved it, and I certainly remember the gist, the Ministry of Truth.
Yeah, and Oceana.
Yes.
The government came in. They said, we're going to tell you what words you can use. We're going to tell you what words you can't use.
Yes.
And if you don't do it right, we're going to unperson you.
I'm all over that.
You remember all that?
I know. And by the way, the Biden administration actually tried to have this year a Ministry of Truth. They almost called it was very close to it. I can't remember the name.
It was close.
It was close, and it was exactly what that is.
So when did Trump do that? Right? When did Trump establish a Ministry of Truth? Again, it's just so funny. Bill Maher tries to pretend that, again, Trump is some type of unique evil that we've never seen before, while acknowledging that the Biden administration is doing stuff straight out of a George Orwell novel, right? We're living in an Orwellian administration, okay? He knows that. He's acknowledging that. But again, his Trump derangement syndrome can't seem to help him realize that, maybe, just maybe, Trump ain't all that bad. Or put it this way, he ain't worse than politicians that we've seen before in the past and what they've been willing to do. Okay? Again, it's absolutely amazing that Dr. Phil is triggering Bill Maher because he won't participate in Bill Maher's hatred of Trump. It's really sad, right? It really is.
I agree.
But even beyond that, let me tell you this.
But you think that's a bigger problem than Donald Trump?
No, I don't.
Oh,
because I don't think politics are the big problem. What I'm telling you is this. That's happening again, but it's not the government doing it. We're doing it to each other.
Facts.
This cancel culture bullshit, we're doing what 1984 had Oceana, the government, doing. We're doing to each other.
I understand. I couldn't agree more.
It's the culture that's the problem here. You're wanting to say, let's pick somebody and throw them against the wall, whether it's Biden or Trump or Bush or whoever. That doesn't matter. It's culture.
Bruh, I could have said it better myself, man. Dr. Phil is based, right? Dr. Phil is based. I think he's based. Again, it's just sad, man. It really is. To see Bill Maher, who, I believe was a smart individual, but he's so afraid of Trump, right? And I don't know why. I don't understand why. Under President Trump, we have 4 great years, okay? Maybe not the last year, the COVID year, but I'm just saying, at the very least, we had 3 great years. And if the guy loses in 2024, he's not in the White House, right? He's not going to go in and take over the government. Okay, so I don't know why people keep calling Trump this big threat when, again, when he was in office, when it was time for him to step down, he stepped down, right? He didn't stay and say, no, I'm declaring martial law, I'm taking over the military, and I'm just gonna stay in power. He didn't do that. He stepped down and he left. If he loses in 2024, again, it's not like he can just take over the government and just go into the White House anyways. Not happening. If he wins, then he's just in the White House for 4 years, and then after that 4 years, he's done. I'm not sure exactly what these people think is so dangerous, right? I'm not exactly sure why these people are so afraid of Trump. But hey, we don't really know the origin, right, of Trump derangement syndrome. It's a mystery, okay? It really is. It's more of a mystery than the origins of COVID-19. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.